Hey there dreamers, James here on behalf of Apologue, and in today's video it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a story time with James, and it will be a story about my first workshop, right? The first workshop that I've ever given with Apologue. Now this was in February of 2019, a few months after we started Apologue, when we knew that we wanted to reach and impact and coach students. And I remember in that few months leading up to the event, I was just reaching out to as many people that I could, and I was just asking for an opportunity to just put me in front of a student, right? And I remember I was reaching out to at least 50 to 100 people that I know, trying to get an opportunity. And call it luck, call it fate, but one of my teachers, my ex-teachers, my ex-English teacher, his name is Mr. Tan. So Mr. Tan, if you're watching this, thank you for believing in me. He, at the time when I left high school to go to university here in Vancouver, he left the high school as well and went to a different school called Sri Amas International School as the vice principal. So he saw that maybe I could be helpful to students, so he actually gave me an opportunity to speak at his school. So I remember leading up to the event, I was so nervous. I was spending every single day coming out with slides and coming out with a 10-page script on what I had to say, and the first thing I do when I wake up every single morning was to practice that script, right, every single day. And when the day finally came, I felt like I was ready, right? So I went to school. It was about 50 people, 50 students. My dad was there as well, along with his friend who helped us take photos. There were also other teachers involved who didn't have classes then, so he came by to just see what's going on, right? Who's this young kid what's he trying to do, right? So it was just that room, and I remember, it started off well. I was giving the workshop. I was nervous, right? And for me, when I get nervous, my hands get sweaty, and I don't know if it's the sweat pores on my face are just huge, but I sweat a lot, and you can see it in my face, right? And I remember we got to one slide, like 15 minutes in. We got to one slide, and I blanked. I did not remember what I had to say, right? Because obviously nobody can memorize a 10-page script, and I was trying to memorize that word for word. So I was stuck. I had no idea what I had to say, and I started sweating. And you can tell that I was sweating, right? And these kids, right, in the room, they just came from PE, and it was an air-conditioned room, and they weren't sweating, but I was, right? I was super nervous, and I was just like, oh shoot, this is it, right? But long story short, I got my groove back, and I realized that, hey, you know what you're talking about, right? This is not a script that I took from somebody else. This is my story. This is what I went through. So I shouldn't need to go off a script. I just go off the top of my head, and that it should come from the heart. So I got back my groove and finished the workshop, and I could tell that everybody was engaged, and the teachers were engaged, and after that workshop, I think that propelled us to do that same workshop over and over again. Like right after that workshop ended, we had the opportunity to give another 2 workshops in their sister schools, and that was like 400 students at once. And then from there we started to reach other schools, and I brought it back here to Vancouver. And fast forward to today, we've been giving the workshop to over 1,000 students now, and it has been a blast. And obviously with every workshop it gets a little better, the material gets a little bit stronger, I sweat a little bit less, and now, yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and it's something that I really know for a fact that it will help students. So we've been doing a lot now. This year actually got off to an amazing start. We got the opportunity to work with a lot of student organizations. We got to work with schools to give this workshop, but obviously with this current situation, live in-person workshops aren't allowed. So I wanted to invite you to join me in a virtual workshop, the same purpose workshop that I gave a year ago when I was sweating buckets. I want to invite you to join me in a virtual workshop for free, just our way of supporting the community, on June 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. This will be completely free. It will be virtual. It will be on Facebook Live. You can register for the event in the description below. And hopefully you will be able to experience what our purpose workshop is all about, right? What 1,000 students who really got value from it, what it's all about. Now hopefully I am not as nervous, hopefully I don't mess up, hopefully I don't sweat and you can see my sweat through the camera. But I know for a fact that the 1 to 1.5 hours will be well worth your time. And it is completely free if I haven't mentioned that already. So make sure you sign up below and I look forward to seeing you there. Take care.